So I'm excited, Barbara, to talk to you today, like to have a little session to chat with you. So that's very exciting, especially since the topic that you have chosen that's dear to your heart is also dear to my heart. So yeah, that's really, really cool. So if you haven't met, so hello everybody. If you're watching this live, then please say hello and leave a little message for us. If you're watching the replay, please put replay in the comments so that we can answer any questions that you might have. Both of us are happy to pop into the post and, you know, see if there's anything that we need to help with or answer. So that's really cool. And if you haven't met Barbara before, well, Barbara, I've known Barbara now for, I don't know, 3 years maybe.
I would say so, yeah.
Something around that, you know. And Barbara, I've known her, she's a wonderful person. She lives in Switzerland, which is why we're doing this in the afternoon, because she can't do it at 9 o'clock my time in the morning because it's like midnight or something for you. So that doesn't really work well. But I've known Barbara for a long time and she has lots of talent. She has lots of skills. She's actually a medical doctor and she has a whole range of other qualifications that she can talk about, and her skills and talents are just like amazing. And she has these most amazing clients that she helps with all the time. So she's one of my business besties, and yeah, we're little business buddies. And yeah, so I'd love to introduce you to Barbara, and let's chat. Let's chat. So yeah. So let's start off. What is a polymath?
Thanks for the introduction, Angie. I didn't know that myself, but I was once called when I was visiting friends of my boyfriend, and I was singing one of the songs that I have written and recorded in Cuba with the high-class musicians as a backing track. I was standing there singing it, and then his friend said, "This isn't actually a hobby." And then I was like, what? Yeah, I think you're a polymath. And then I had to Google it. So a polymath is actually somebody who has so many talents and kind of gifts that, yeah, that it's really different talent. So for myself, you already talked that I'm a doctor, I'm a coach, I'm a singer-songwriter, I am working a lot with body language. I specialized in sex therapy, which helped me with this body language skill. And I love to, I don't even know. I sometimes forget because
you've got so many, it's hard to count them all, remember them all. We've got a couple of people on live, so if you're here, come and say hi. We'd love to see who you are, so that would be cool. Yeah, I understand that too. It's really easy to have so many things that you love, like, you know, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because like I'm a bit like that too, you know, I've got the tech stuff and I've got the wellness stuff and I do past life regressions, and you know, it goes on and it's like, oh, I could make that my career. I'm going to become a past life regression hypnotherapist. That's it. And then it's like, I love that. That'd be cool. And then it's like, oh, well, actually, no. I'm going to teach you on how to find their passions. That's my thing. Or, oh, I'm going to be a Louise Hay facilitator. That's my thing. Or I'm going to teach scrapbooking because that's my thing. Or I'm going to teach IT because that's my thing. And it can become really tricky, can't it? Because you go around in circles. Hey, you don't really ever get anywhere because you're constantly changing. Isn't like, do you think like it's hard to know what to do? So why is niching then important? Like, should we niche, or what, or how does it all work? Like, you know, you've got all these skills and talents, but you have to somehow attract your person.
Yeah, when I heard the word niching, it was kind of horror for me, because niche is kind of narrowing down, and I'm with all my talents and passions and skills and gifts. I don't want that. It's kind of like excluding somebody and putting it to the edge because you've done something bad at school to shame yourself in the edge. I don't know whether you know that as well. So it's exclusion is traditionally a bad consequence for something. And I want to be happy, and I want to also help people to be inspired, happy, connected to their core, so that this happiness is not just a mask, it's really there and accessible at all times. And how shall I want to restrict myself to a niche? But then I was looking at it from a kind of different perspective. I'm also linked to what is called system thinkers, who think in different bubbles, connecting the different bubbles or making sense of the mess and stuff like this. So I took a different perspective, and I thought, oh, it's kind of, you have to talk to people so that the people think, oh, she's talking to me. So that made it a little bit less hard. And then I thought, it's still not good enough, because I have to really connect to my vision and my mission to build what is called niche, and see it as a kind of a field where my wishes are fulfilled. So I need to find out the vision first, and the niching is then something that comes up later.
That's interesting, isn't it? So you're connecting to your soul, and then that gives you the answers of where to niche, or who your ideal client is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is too, hey, that I think you have to be whole. You have to be yourself. So all the skills and talents have to be combined, and you go, that's Barbara. That's what she does. She's got all these skills and talents, and she can help in so many ways. But does that make sense? Like it's about putting it all together and finding your inner soul, like, which is all of those parts together.
Exactly. So what I came up lately is I just niche for polymaths and multi-passionate individuals like me. So I can help them as well, because I know the pains and I know how it feels to be that, and all the challenges that there are. And actually, I was already, before I changed my LinkedIn banner lately with a cool design, where I took some of the passions and did it in Canva, which we also talked about, you as a techie business coach or a real expert in this as well. And there I put everything together, and I'm already, before I did that, I attracted those people anyway.
Yeah.
Because you kind of, when you're talking and writing things from how you are and what you feel, then you attract the people that are a good fit. And that's about what niching is actually about. Because when you can talk to the people who are a good fit, then they're able to be aligned and happy about knowing you, and then ultimately become your client.
Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly right. And that's all part of the law of attraction too, isn't it? Like, you write down what your vision is, and it seems, once you have clarity on your vision, then the universe goes, oh, I know who to send to you, because you've got clarity on where you're going. And so it starts to send, you attract, don't you?
Yes.
Like what you write down. That's why writing visions and things are really important, putting them in, written form, as opposed to just having it mentally. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, just if you write, I just like to write articles and stuff that goes through my head on LinkedIn, because people love to read that. Not so many people are actually writing stuff, and I do videos, and so then the people get attracted to what I'm writing and seeing.
Yeah. So how should people? What should they do? What techniques should they do to connect with themselves, to find their passion and purpose, their soul?
I think knowing that you have to do that is already a step into the right direction. and kind of opening up. It could be I would use something like a meditative state. It's not really meditation when I'm doing stuff like this, like when I'm writing my songs. I cannot really describe it, but it's kind of like I'm relaxing myself into a state that is a little bit like a meditative or a slight trance state. And then the stuff just flows to me.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And
And
how do you do that? Do you breathe? Like, what do you do to get into that state, do you think, or does it just happen for you?
when I want to do that, when I'm kind of in for example, when I write a song, let's take that example. Then I go into the emotion or into the theme that I want to write about. And I'm just sitting somewhere where I'm comfortable, sometimes outside, sometimes inside. And I just have the intention of starting to write. And then it is important to have something to write on, like a paper, or I was always using the same format, because the slight constraint that you have to always write on this format or something like this, that augments creativity.
Oh, wow. Gee, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. Old poets knew that. That's why they have the verses and the rhymes and so.
Oh, so by having that routine or having that familiarity of repetition of this, doing the same format every time, it actually helps. Because your mind knows what it has to do then, doesn't it? That's what it's about.
Yes.
Yeah. How cool is that? So, so you get into that meditative state, and then you start to connecting with your soul. So do you ask it? Like, is it like a meditation to really get into that inner knowing? Like, how would you know? Is it what your soul wants to do, or is this getting too deep? Like,
no, it's fine. It's a state of flow, I would say.
A state of flow.
It is a state of flow, and the state of flow, it is scientifically created when you have some kind of challenge that is not too high for you, and you can master it, but it's not too low so that you get bored, and then you get into this state of flow.
Yeah.
And then you can just think, you can ask questions, and then they get kind of answered. If you can hear it in a voice, which is kind of soft, much softer than the one that is in Adam, I need my battery. My battery, sorry. Can you please bring me my battery? Yeah.
Oops, you're about to lose your battery, lose the service. Hey, Lila has said hello. So
hello. Lovely to meet you.
So that's really cool. So there's still some people on, so that's really good. So yeah, so we were talking about polymaths and saying how they are somebody who has all these skills and talents. What are we didn't really talk about, what are the pitfalls of being like a polymath? Like why
is that?
Yeah, what are the pitfalls?
My intuitive answer would ask whatever you call God or so, because you don't know. But I think one of the things is it is kind of also it has to do something with intelligence in a way, but it's the intelligence is not applied in just one field, in different fields. And I personally find that very important, that what you have is kind of, you have some intellectual stuff that you do, some emotional stuff that you do, some body work that you do. And that's also how I work with my clients. I integrate that all. I could maybe be a professor in blah, blah, blah. I don't know what, if I would just focus and narrow myself, so that you see again, the narrowing is not my thing. And then I could apply my kind of my intelligence forces in just one direction, but that's not what makes me happy.
No. Yeah. And I think too, it's that you often are like they say, a jack of all trades and a master of none, so you're good at anything. And so you can put your hand in anything. And I know that, like I know this personally because my husband's a bit like this. And so he hasn't really ever focused on his direction. He wants to do all these things, but he can take his hand to anything. And so it's like, well, I could do that. Oh, but I could do that. Oh, but I could do that. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to make that decision. And I love them all. So what am I going to do? So yeah.
But the technical trade is kind of a mean description. It means that you're not successful in anything. I want to be successful in what I'm doing. So, but there's a trick, and it was kind of like also an inspirational thought that I had when I was in school. I was, we call it matura, or you call it A-level or something like this. I was doing my school with new languages, and then I knew already that I wanted to become a photographer. I'm a professional photographer. And then I thought, I could do that. And then I came to this awareness of you never allowed to stop something before you finished it. Otherwise your life ends badly. So good. Then I did my A-levels. Then I did this apprenticeship to become a photographer. And then even before I was finished with photographer, I knew that I wanted to study medicine, but I finished photographer and started medicine, so that everything is finished. I wrote my songs, and I didn't kind of start to do videos in between. I always finish what I started, so that I have a product. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be really good, so that I'm really happy.
Yes.
And proud of myself. And that's feeding back the happiness. And so I don't consider myself a jack of all trade.
No, that's interesting. Hey, I did up for a second, but Irina's here, and she said, "Hello, Angie and Barbara. I can relate to a lot of this conversation. It has also been a big challenge of my life, how to integrate all those different passions and talents. But eventually, it all makes sense." Yeah, and it does, doesn't it? Yeah, and I'm a bit the same. I've got the tech side of me, and I've got the wellness side of me. And I'm actually in the process now, and I'm feeling so good because it's been a big thing for me. How do I integrate the two together, like to become me? And I've actually made a decision. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. And I've started the process of integrating the two sides of me together. So I'm very happy, and it actually makes you feel really good. So Irina, when you actually work, like you work it out and you know how to do it, it actually is a big relief, because you've got that stress off of how do you become one and not.
Yes, exactly. It's a big relief, and also a big inspirator, a big well of inspiration. Because then you get into this flow, you know how you can connect your important thing. And for me, it's always a creative and intellectual and a body thing. And even if I'm doing more marketing, which uses my creative brain, because I have to do visual stuff and stuff like this. So I'm writing less songs.
Yes.
But if I'm doing no creative work, then I get depleted and frustrated and stuff. So that's how it works for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think I read somewhere that, they say that it's really important to have some sort of creative outlet, because it actually helps with so many other things. The more creative you are, the more your mind can create other things as well. Yeah, which is quite interesting. Hey, so
yeah, it is. So when I have a nephew, I'm his godmother, and when he was 3 years old, we were walking in the snow, and I have prepared some stuff to tell a story together with him. Yeah. And then I said, let's tell a story. Let's make a story together. And then he said, yeah, but we don't have a book. And then I said, yeah, books have been written by somebody. And that's what we're doing now. We are creating a story. And then we did many things to kind of inspire his creativity. And I just thought as being a godmother, I have to kind of help him to get something that is really important for his life. And we did a lot of stuff in this direction, and it's been really fulfilling. And I hope he will be more balanced. He is a wonderful kid, and balanced. I don't know whether this was an important thing, but I think so.
Yeah. And so you've actually come up with, like, you've been working on, I'm just changing the topic a bit. You've been working on this. You've worked out who you've got in, and you've actually worked out now exactly who you want to work with.
Yes.
And that must make you feel really great, talking about feeling great about making decisions and things, and you know, that makes you feel great.
Yes, that is making me feel great. I wanted to have an impact, and for that I thought, who do I really want to work with? So I thought, if I'm working with leaders, then they have an impact as well. So I can kind of potentialize what I'm doing, because it's doing good to the people that the leaders will then consecutively also do good. And that's why I decided to work with leaders.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and you know then that you really, I mean, all of us who are in business, and it applies to the people listening, and you know, to both of our clients and our friends, you know, like, you know, people that follow us, they're there, they're business people, they're there because they want to make a difference. Like, we don't go into business because we're like, I just feel like having a business today, I'll just do a business. It's because you actually have you want to make an impact and you want to make a difference. Hey, and so by working with a leader, the ripple is just flowing, you know, it flows down, doesn't it? Like you make a huge impact and a huge difference, which is what we all want to do, really. It's to help others.
Yes, exactly. And you and me, we are both natural leaders. So you can see that when you have a crowd of people who are all not knowing the way, then who do they go to? They come to you, they come to me, and they ask for the way. Or if you're in a situation where you want to lead a team, it's a natural. You're just like this, and me as well. So I have to take care that my boss doesn't care. Because often, yeah, sometimes there is the situation where I have to kind of step back a bit intentionally, because people are often giving me the lead. I don't know how it works. I think it's body language and being relaxed, and yeah, and also be aware of who you are with and really knowing them, and yeah, many things. But that's stuff that leaders can actually also learn from me, because I can teach it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we go, anybody who's watching, do you have any questions for us that you would like, or anything you'd like Barbara to answer for you? She does have a free gift, which I'll talk to you about in a minute, and I'll share that with you. And Barbara will share it with you, but she can tell you all about it. But before we do, is anybody who's watching, do you have any questions at all? Just pop them in the comments there, because we would love to answer anything that you've got. Any questions? So yeah, that would be exciting. And while we're waiting for the questions, I think there's a bit of a lag time usually between what we say and what they hear. So we'll wait for a second or two. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, let's talk about your gift, and then we can answer any questions if any pop up. So you've because you're wanting to work with leaders, you've sort of want to share what you've done?
Yes, I made a PDF of, it has a beautiful photo of me as a diva, because I made it for an event where diva was the theme. That's why the diva is there, but it's actually very valuable because it has the key traits of a leader. And it's important to know those traits for yourself, and also for, if you're led by somebody who doesn't have that, you already know that, there's something missing, and it could be because of this that I'm not feeling well with this person.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a great PDF to have.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everybody takes you up on the offer and they sign up and grab it. So So we'll pop the link for your gift into the comments below so that people have got them and they can download it, and that would be exciting. And yeah, and so thank you so much. I don't think we've got any questions, so thank you so much for popping in. People can put questions in the comments and we can come back if there's any. And yeah, so thank you so much for coming today and sharing your wisdom with us. It's been awesome to learn. Actually, I didn't know what polymath was either. Just by the way, I had to go Google it when I read when you read your thing and said,
yeah, maybe it's a bit
I'm writing. I'm like,
oh, it's also called a Renaissance woman or Renaissance man. I think the Americans call it like this. So in my little LinkedIn banner that I did, I took a circle and I put a man and a woman inside because of this. You remember this picture of Leonardo da Vinci where he shows that the men fits in the circle, and how the relationships of the body parts to each other, or he all measured those and set them into relationship and stuff like this.
Oh wow, that sounds awesome. I have to go and check it out. I'm going to go check out your LinkedIn profile now. It sounds really good. All right, well, thank you so much. We'll pop the comments below. Like I was saying, the freebie in the comments below. And yeah, thank you. And thanks to everybody who's watching. We really appreciate you popping in and spending some time with us this afternoon or morning if you're over on the other side of the world. And yeah, you all take care and have the most amazing and abundant day wherever you happen to be. And we'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you all, everyone. And thank you, Angie. You're such a wonderful person. Mwah.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Ciao.